10 studio albums, 5 soundtrack albums, 12 compilation albums, 10 videos, 1 remix album, 7 reissues, 1 box set, and a heart of pure gold. Michael Jackson holds 26 Guinness World Records out of 34 set in his lifetime, including the best-selling album of all time and the most expensive video of all time. That is no surprise coming from the king of pop. Welcome to Numbers Matter, and we're going to get into this and more in a moment. So, welcome to Numbers Matter podcast. I actually call it a podcast because they're like podcast studies. But what we'll be doing on this podcast is we'll be looking at numbers through astronumerology and we'll be looking at why numbers matter. So, numbers matter to me because they're everywhere. You can't do anything without encountering numbers. And also, these numbers guide us. They guide us in our spiritual journey, they guide us behind the scenes. So, whether we believe in it or not, whether we like it or not, this is the way that the universe works. So, these numbers are guiding us every day. So, it's best that you just tap right into them so you get to know them. And that way you can, prepare yourself for the things that you have coming up and for the things that you want to do and take advantage of the best time to do them and make sure you're taking advantage of those low times and kind of hanging back when it's not time to do things. So that's why numbers matter to me. I hope that's why numbers will matter to you by the time we get through with a lot of these presentations that we do. So this presentation that I'm doing today, I'll just talk about that a little bit, and then I'll talk about more what we're going to be doing on the show. Is going to be the conclusion. So if you didn't know, I was on the Live with Lloyd show the other day on December 11th. That was a master number 11 day. It was actually a master number 22 universal day. So I was on the Live with Lloyd show and we did Michael Jackson's Numerology, and it was so captivating. It was intriguing. It was like the best. It was so good. And I really enjoyed doing that. I really enjoyed doing that. And the only thing is, we didn't get to complete it. It was long, it went over time. I was very gracious. And I was gracious for the Live with Lloyd family. And you know what? Matter of fact, before I even keep going, let me thank everybody that is a new subscriber to BTV because I do realize there may be some new people here. So, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Black Education Empowers True Vision. Welcome to Numeralytics. You're either watching me on one of those two channels. So welcome aboard. This is live, so we're gonna have snafus. We're going to get into it though. So I just want to make sure I'm welcoming people aboard. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share the video. Share it with somebody that loves Michael Jackson, because we'll be kind of doing a conclusion of his numerology today. And that's what I wanted to say. I was going to get into. I was on the Live with Lloyd show on 12/11. And as we know, Michael Jackson's a master number 11. So it was very special. It was a very special time for me. It was a special occasion. And I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the family that tuned in. And I hope that you guys learned something new about Michael Jackson that you didn't know. And I hope that you really found it intriguing, some of the things that we uncovered through his numerology. So, what I want people to do now, too, that if you're watching this show, if you're live, that's great. Thank you so much for watching live. And if you're a rebroadcaster, peace and welcome to the BTV channel. But if you're watching live or if you're coming back to comment, make sure you put in the chat pound MJ, pound J for MJ, justice for MJ. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So I'm going to put that in the chat right now. Let me go do that. Hey, Queen. Hey, Kimberly. Peace, Queen. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for supporting. So right now I'm going to put in pound justice for MJ. And that's what we want to put in the chat. We want to see that in the chat. Even if you're not live, When you come back, if you're watching it, put that in the chat. We want to start sharing that hashtag around because no one ever really have apologized to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is Black American royalty. It's just really the greatest thing that we really had entertainment wise, if we look at it that way, and really just human wise, human being wise, coming out of our community, just a beacon of light and hope for everybody. Talented to the T. We know how talented he was. You heard me read some of his accolades in the beginning. And what we're really just going to be doing today is going through the numerology. And we're not going to go through it in a sense the way that we did on the Live with Lloyd show. Because if you want to know about Michael Jackson's numerology, go watch the Live with Lloyd show because it was a 2 hour almost show. And we really went through it. We talked about his master number capabilities that he possesses. He possesses four master numbers, which I've never seen a chart like that, like his, that has that many master numbers. He's got the 2 and the 7. Those are moon numbers. 7 is the law of attraction. So he's got the 8 expression. That's big business. That's really handling money in some type of way. It's a financial number, it's dealing with older people, it's an older soul frequency. So he just has like this like incredible spread of numerology. And let's not forget that he has a master number 22 as his first name and his last name, respectively. And when we look at that, we can look at that and say, that 22, that's a master builder. So what he visioned mastery through his 11, he was able to build that with that 22. He was able to build on that with that 22. And I just think that it was phenomenal. And I really attribute it to his parents and his family unit. And that's what you guys know. That's what I preach on BTV. I'm always talking about the family unit. I'm always talking about two parents getting rid of baby mama, baby daddy culture and bringing in queens and kings up culture, ushering in a new culture, a new nation, changing things, flip it right upside down on them. Let's flip back to that way we used to be. And I actually have a song called "The Way We Used to Be," but so just really getting back to who we are. And I think Michael Jackson is just exemplary of that. I think he's exemplary of that. So we have some people in the chat. I want to thank you guys for being here. Of course, Queen Kimberly, Manifest on Purpose. Make sure you check her show out. Make sure you go follow Kimberly on YouTube. It's Kimberly underscore. Um, and make sure you're looking at what she's got going on because she does Manifest on Purpose. She has Weekly Wisdom. She does the Abundance Portal. She does Astro Numerology Revealed, which I've been on that show. A lot of other great astro numerologists and astrologists have been on her show. And then her herself, like, spitting the wisdom. Queen Kimberly's always spitting the knowledge. She's a master number 22. I hope she don't mind me giving her business out. But I love her. I edify her, and that's what we do at BTV. We edify the kings, we edify the queens. It's kings and queens up always around here, and that's first. That's royalty rules first. So we make sure that we take care of the family, and then we get into these numbers like crazy, and we love it because, like I said on Lloyd's show, men lie, women lie, numbers do not lie. So that's why we want to get into it. We want to see what your numbers are and see what's going on. So I'm gonna, without further ado, I'm gonna start sharing because I don't want to go too long. I can be long-winded. The queen can be long-winded. So I am going to just really quick, I'm going to put up the first timeline. So what I didn't really get to expound on Lloyd's show, because obviously, it's a lot going on and you have to be kind of on point and ready to answer other questions. But what I didn't, let me pull this back up. I'm sorry. Let me pull this up so I'm on here with you guys. I'm sorry. Here we go. It's the right one. Oh, you know what? It's an overlay. That's why. Let me hide the overlay. Let's do this. And I hope you guys like the circle. I'm trying something new. And I am a moon child, I'm a moon baby. I love the moon. You see my Numeralytics logo is a logo of the crescent moon. So I'm trying something new with the circle. Usually I'm in the square, but have some new logos here. So we're just trying this out. But let me go ahead. I'm getting ready to share my screen so I can be on the screen with you guys. I want to be on here with you while we go through this. Okay. I'm here at the station. So a lot of you don't know if you're new to the channel. On BTV, I like to think of us all kind of really as superheroes. It's just a thing that I do because we really are. I mean, if you think about all the things that we go through, all the things that we do, everything that we encompass, our layers, our many layers, things that we do along the way, we really are superheroes. And I think the more that we look at ourselves like that, and we really put our cape on when we go outside and just make sure we're protecting ourselves first of all, and then making sure we're protecting others too, because it's not just about ourselves, but it does start with ourselves. So always have to protect yourself and start with you, but then you need to extend that to other people when you go out in the world. And that's why I kind of think of us as superheroes, because that's what superheroes do. They look out for, for the little person, and the little person's us. We're all the little people, right? We're the big people, but we're the little people because we all matter. So real quick, let me pull up his timeline, because we're not going to go through the keys chart, because like I said, family, when we were on live with Lloyd, we went through the whole numerology. We went through the whole keys chart. And matter of fact, I'll show the keys chart, because if anyone wants to get a keys chart, you can definitely tap in with me, and we'll get that for you. And we can do a consultation for that. Let me share the screen. Give me 1 second. I hope you guys are enjoying me. And if you're not, then you can just change the channel. I'm joking. Don't leave. Don't leave. Even if you're not enjoying it, stay. Okay, let me see entire screen. And we want to share this screen. All right, let's add it to the stage. Okay, let me put it up for 1 second because I want to get it up close and personal. So this is a keys chart. So these charts are general charts, but what I like to call them are your personal universal keys to the universe. They're your keys. It's your code. So you know how you have a code when you put when you're coming home and you're trying to get into your door, you have an alarm code, or you have your car keys. Imagine if you went outside and you didn't have your correct car keys. You wouldn't be able to start your car. You wouldn't be able to get to work on time. Your whole day would be off. You would have to wait till you get your keys. So I like to call it a personal universal code. Those are our keys. Those are our keys to the universe. And once we know them, we can tap into them and really take advantage of what we're supposed to be doing when we're supposed to be doing it. So this is a keys chart. This is an intricate one. So this is not probably what you would get if you hit me up for one, but we would start general, because I like to start general with people, and give you certain things that can help you immediately. And then we can dig deeper if we need to. But this is the way it goes here at BTV with Numeralytics. And I just want you guys to know that this is an awesome chart too. I love it. I can, it's digital, so I can text it to you. You can keep it in your phone. You can always look at it when you're out. And make sure that you're doing things on those correct days and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to remove the chart, because everything that we have from the chart, we already have on this chart. So let me go and put this one up so we can take a look, because this is how it looks right now, family. So right now, this is Michael Jackson's numerological occurrence. Everything's a one, because this right here. So let me put me on the screen, right? This with this. So this right here is based on the keys chart that we just looked at. So right now you're looking at all of those numbers that you saw on the keys chart, and you're looking at them, um and this is called like a parallel chart. Okay, so all of his numbers are across the bottom. Now, as we go through his numerology through the timeline, we're going to see this grow, guys. And it's going to be so cool, because what you're going to see through this, you're going to see his main numbers and which one affects him most. You're going to see through his lifetime, okay, which numbers affected him, which ones affected him most. And what these charts do, which is why I love these charts, is they show you the many few in the top something. I forget the acronym for it or whatever, but it's like it shows you the many few that affect the rest. So to show you the many few that affect the rest, that's what it is. Okay, so this is so cool. It's a data thing. So I love it because it gives me a chance to mix what I love, two things: data analytics and numerology. Peace and love, numbers and you. Peace and love, Lloyd. Thank you so much for tapping in. Of course, peace to Queen Kimberly, Manifest on Purpose, and Leslie Brown. I hope you're still here. Peace to you. And Teresa Miller, you are a Live with Lloyd family member. I know that because I commented back to you today. So, peace, Queen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming to BTV. Welcome to BTV, Black Education Empowers True Vision. We're queens up, we're kings up, we're royalty rules. And right now we're talking about royalty. We're talking about Black American royalty, Michael Jackson. Double 22. Okay. So this is his numeralytic occurrence, guys. So let's get this off the screen because we're gonna boogie right now because it's late, and I want people to make sure that they get their proper rest and everything. I'm a night owl, I'm a moon baby. So if it's up to me, I'll be up all night. But I want to be respectful of the family. So all right, let me get rid of this for 1 second because I gotta get the banners back up. And we're gonna go right into his chart. So you know what? We're going to start here because even though we have his name, we're going to do the letters. So let me look at this. Let me pull up the other piece that I need so I can plug the letters in. Not that one. I'm going to put it over here so I can plug them in. Okay. So Michael has 7 letters. Okay. So that's what we're plugging in right now. We're giving 7 already is at 1. We're giving it a 2. Okay. Because that's a 2. Joseph has 6 letters. That's one of his spreads. So we're going to give the number 2, which is his life path is a 6. So we're giving that a 2. And that's also his first name in Pythagorean when you break down to the base number. And then Jackson, the last name, also has 7 letters. So now that has a 3. Okay. So do you see how we're tracking this family? So real quick, I'm going to show you what this looks like, family. Let's pull this back. And I hope you're seeing the screen. Look already. So we only plugged in a few numbers and look at the chart already. It's already growing. It's already telling us so far his part of his personal universal code, the 7, and his name, the 6, and his life path are the leading role right now. So that's just right now, family. Hold on. This ain't even big. Let me see. Why is it not getting big? Does it look big? No. Okay, that's why. All right, I'm going to pull it up like that. That's okay, but you can see it. You can see it. So we're going to keep going. Let me keep going. Let me pull it back up. Matter of fact, I wonder if I can keep it over here and then we can still see it together. I mean, it's kind of little, but we can still see it, right? Let me see. Let me check the comments and see if anyone's saying anything. Okay, nope, good. But I see people still tuned in, so I'm excited that you're tuned in, and I really appreciate you being here. Welcome to BTV. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Okay. I'm not really used to saying that, but I gotta get used to it. Yes. Annie, are you okay? Don't make me start singing, Botanical. Do not make me start singing up here because I will sing. First of all, let me tell y'all this. Lloyd knows because it was a little background thing. I was about to come out and sing Billie Jean on that show. Like I was gonna make a grand entrance singing Billie Jean, but I'm like, Melinda, look, Melinda, Taylor B, you are being too dramatic right now. So I did not do it, but it was good. I still sang a little bit because I did sing Annie, are you okay? But yes, and that's another thing, family. Drop when you met Michael Jackson because he's so generational. And I want to make sure that we all know when we met him. I met him in the Thriller era. So I'm super excited. Kimberly's laughing at me because she knows I'm crazy. Okay. So Jackson, so hold on, where are we? So we had 7 letters. So we're not doing this part of it because we already have those charted. So 20 letters in his name total. So that's a 2. So we got to give the 2 a number 2 now because it was at 1. Now it's at 2. All right, let me make this smaller and then we can maybe see a little bit, but probably not. But I'm just going to let this part be seen so I can chart it. And I want you guys to see it too. So we'll do it like this, a split screen. Very, very technical when you're here on BTV. It's very technical. And then so now his expression, which is just his full name added up, there's a lot of terminology, but we want to make sure people understand. So just his full name added up in the Pythagorean system, it adds up to a total of 80 altogether. Then that's the base number 8. So that's how we get his expression that he's an 8. That's his big business. That's his old soul. That's him attracting those older people when he was younger, and all that kind of stuff, the legacy, all that kind of stuff, with his 8. So we're gonna give the A to number two right there, because that's his whole name. And then we're gonna give the Michael Jackson a seven, okay? Because that together, so we're gonna give that seven a number four because it's at three. Okay, so we're gonna just give it a four. And then he has 12 youthful numbers in his name. That doesn't add up to anything. Actually, that 12 adds up to one of his opposition numbers, but that doesn't really mean anything for this. I'm just pointing it out. Um, and that's it. We're done with this slide. See, so we're done with this slide. We're going to move over. Yes, botanical. We could talk about that. I really, between the videos that I was sending back and forth with Lloyd, a couple of them were saying he was alive. And did you guys see that Dave person on I think it was on Larry King Live he went on? That Dave person reminds me of Michael Jackson. And not only that, botanical, he was an expert at a master of disguise. Like he loved it. And if you look at that number seven energy, that's where he gets that from, because sevens are like that. They're like sci-fi. They like sci-fi. They got that Neptune energy. So it's like, like science fiction and all that kind of stuff. That's where I think, he fits so well with thriller. Like I can see it with him. Yeah. Yeah, the burn victim, Dave. But he played so many different masters of disguises. We never know. He could be, because he had the money to do it. I mean, if he wanted to do it, he could. I put nothing past it. But obviously until the family comes out and says that, I'm respectful of, him resting in peace. I would love if he was still here. I really would. So let's get on to the next slide. And I want to point out too, because I didn't really get into it on the other show, it does, is that since his first name adds up to a six, that means that his mother or father or whoever named him was a Taurus or a Libra, or born on the 6th, 15th, 24th of the month. His mother happens to be a Taurus. Thank you. Like, is so this doesn't lie. This is why I say men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, and that is why numbers matter. So let's get on with it. Let's get on to the next slide. Let's take that down so we can get on to the next slide. So this is just his, we're not going to, let's chart this because this is right. Let's chart this. This one has to be charted because this is his motivation, which is just his soul urge, his inner desire. And that really speaks to his personality. And we got into that on the big live. So you can go reference the big live on Lloyd's channel if you want to see that part. And his personality we got into. So right now we're just charting numbers. So let's chart. So we have a 33. Now, remember, if you'll remember and recall, that when we have the master number come up, we have to chart both. So we have to chart the master number 33, and then we're also going to chart the 6. So let's give the 33 a number 2. And then the 6 is going to get a 3 because we're up to 3 for 6. And then that personality is a 20. That is a 2. All right. So that's a 3. No, because they were already at 2. So let me give them a 3. I got to make sure I watch that number. And then that expression again is at 80. We're not going to count that twice. And then we're going to move on to the next slide. See how quick we're going to go through this, family. Yep, we're not going to hold it. So let's get on. So this is his Chaldean breakdown. So we do need to chart a few things here. We're going to chart his 11 youthful numbers out of 14. So just to point out too, I talked about the 8 being a maturity number and him really attracting, the older people when he was younger, which we know he did. And then, having those 11 youthful numbers in his name, and that gives him just the opposite. So um when he got older, he attracted younger people. And again, like Botanical said, it's his playful nature. This man grew up without a childhood. He would literally watch kids outside of the studio, and they were at playgrounds, and he would literally like cry because he couldn't be out there playing with them. But he'll always say that he didn't mind doing it because of the service of it. And that's a true number, life path number 6. They're really into service of people, and things like that. That's a part of their energy. So it's really understandable. First time during the Afro days, those were the best days. Like when I look at those days, Leslie, like those were the best days, I think, because it was just so pure. And he was just so pure hearted. I mean, just a heart of gold. And he really grew up that way. He really grew up with that family unit, with that nurturing spirit. He grew up with that nurturing spirit. So let's count. Let's count here. Let's get his 22s up here. He's got those look at these master number. Like, guys, do you understand how powerful this name is? I mean, and this is not just him. So anybody that named Michael, that's a powerful first name. That's a master number 22, and I always want people to know if that's what they are, because they need to understand the power of it and understand the warnings of it, and make sure that they're living on the high side, because the low side can be low. And that's what all the numbers. So we want to make sure people are living on the high side of things. So let's chart his 22s. So he's got two 22s up here. So we're at a 1 for the 22 so far. So I'm going to put 3. And then the 14 letters in his name, that equals a 5. We didn't chart that on the Pythagorean, so we're going to chart that 5 here. That gives the 5 a number 2. And then the Michael Jackson altogether, that's a master number 44. So we're going to give that a 2. And then we're going to go and give the 8 1. So that's a 3 for the 8, because they were at 2. So looking at the Chaldean system, so we'll just break this down real quick like we just did for Pythagorean. Based on the Chaldean system, that tells me that his mother or father, whoever named him, was an Aquarius, Leo, a Gemini, or low key Gemini, or they were born on the 4th, the 13th, the 22nd, or the 31st of the month. And his mother happens to be born on the 4th of the month. So we found his mother's birthday through his Pythagorean breakdown, and now we just found her again through his Chaldean breakdown. So I think it's safe to assume that Queen Mother Catherine, named Michael. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Yo, hold on. Let me give love to the chat real quick. And then we're going to look at the chart in a second. Hold on. Let me, Botanicals in the chat. I would have been honored to meet King Mike. Me too. Some say he's still with us. Yep, he faked his demise to avoid the hassle from the corrupt music industry. Listen, that music industry is so corrupt. Now you couple that with the music industry and the media, the entertainment industry altogether. The whole thing is corrupt. The whole thing is corrupt. Okay. Leslie Brown says she met Michael first time during the Afro days. That's a beautiful memory. Thank you, Mr. Lloyd, for announcing and having special guests on your show. This is how I found out about Miss Kimberly, the queen of Manifest on Purpose, late this summer, and Queen B this evening. Peace and love, peace and universal love to you, Queen. Thank you for being here. You're gonna love Miss Kimberly's channel. Her channel is the best. I love her. I love her to pieces. And you're gonna love BTV. Like, we have fun here. And we do the thing. We do the thing for the community. This is the nation builder over here. This is Miss Kimberly knows this is the rebel. This is the rebel of all causes. Okay. This is the nation changer. This is the culture shifter. This is the cultural transformationist, preservationist. And that's what we do here on BTV. So I hope you like it. And look at Lloyd still hanging in there. Lloyd, thank you so much for being here. You're a moon baby too, so I know you're okay to hang in for a little bit. All right, so let's get on with this. Let's get on with this. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't mean to be telling everybody's business. I don't mean to be telling everybody's business, like Lloyd would say. Shawan! Hold on. She said there's 14 letters in Michael's name. The number 14 is the 7th even number. There's the connection to his two. Girl, first of all, y'all don't know about who said the other thing? Teresa. You don't know about us. You about to know about us. This is Miss Shawan. This is Detective Shawan West. This is Detective West. And hope number by number. I think I'm saying that right. Another queen of numerology, and she's going to be displaying her skills pretty soon, and I hope she's going to be coming on BTV soon too. um yes, she is. Miss Kimberly is the best. Thank y'all for coming. Oh, I love y'all. I love the family. Y'all are the best. Y'all are the best. Thank y'all so much for coming through. That's right, Queen B. That's right. Put that B up there, because I do all of that. I do all of that. I'm really into the bees, guys, and we'll get into that another time. All right, so let's get this popping. This is his nickname chart, which we didn't really get into. So we're just going to chart it real quick. We don't have to go too deep into it, but we see that it's a 4. And again, that 4 is the odd and unusual. So he attracts odd and unusual people. His illnesses, his injuries were odd and unusual. Just if that those energies follow you. People didn't really understand a lot of the relationships that he had with people, with Diana Ross, the relationship he had with the kids, Macaulay Culkin, all of those people. People don't understand, so they hate on it and they say this and they say that. But if you don't know, then you don't know. You don't get mad because you ain't on the inside. You don't know what they got going on. But Michael would never hurt a child. We know that. So we always want to edify that piece and make sure that we're saying that. So let me get this chart up, y'all. Let me get it up here because we got stuff to chart. So first of all, I'm gonna pull the chart over here and put the numbers up. But then I'm going to show the chart because we got data in. We got data in, and I'm a data analyst, so I'm happy when data comes in. So the king of pop is a 4, so we have to chart the 4. Let me give the 4 some. I think we missed the 4 a couple of times. Hold on. Yes, let me put these in here for the 4. So the 4 should actually be at 4. All right. And then his name MJ, which he named himself, might I add, equals a 5, and he is born in the negative period of the 5, that Virgo. So let's go get his 5 and give that a 3. And then his Applehead, and I don't know if you guys know this, but Applehead is his affectionate nickname that he would say to his kids. He used to say with his brothers, like it's an affectionate family nickname. And that equals a 4, guys. So like look at all of this numerology just coming into play for Michael Jackson. So we're gonna take a quick look at his charts real quick and see what we have. So let's take a look, family. Look at our so far. The number 4 is winning so far. Not even his 2. I think the 2 is gonna catch up because we're just going through, like, some of this name stuff. That 2 definitely is gonna catch up, but right now, that number 4 is in the lead. His number 7 is 2nd, the 2 is next, and then followed these are all, equal. The 2, the 5, the 6, the 8, and the master number 22 is equal. Okay. All right. So what do you guys think about those numeralytics? What do you think about these numeralytics that you see on the screen? What do you think about its spread, these occurrences? What do you tell me how you like this? Do you like this? Are you enjoying this? Dirty Diana. No. Dirty Diana. No. See, I told y'all don't get me started because I will sing. I will sing. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying this. So let's get on to the next slide so we can continue charting our numbers. Hold on. All right. So right now, this is important, guys. We're going to chart the family. So the famous Jackson 5 family. Like, let's not act like these guys aren't all famous. I mean, they're all famous. Even Latoya, down to Randy, they're all famous. And not only that, they did just get their name committed to a street there in Gary, Indiana. I think 2300 Jackson Street. It's named after them now. Well, it was already called Jackson Street, but they officially made it like Jackson Street, the Jackson 5 Street or whatever they're calling it. I think it's just Jackson Street. But let's look at the family. So we have to chart the family's numbers. So I'm gonna pull the chart over here so I can chart these family numbers. And if you look, guys, you see that his dad, Joe, is a number 8 person. So we know Michael's name is an 8, but 8 is an opposition to Michael. So his opposition numbers are the 9, the 8, and the 3. So this explains why he had issues with his father, you know. And you can see all the people that there's a red on. These are the opposition numbers to Michael. So you'll notice Marlon has 2 of them. And so does Tito. Now, but he and Tito got along pretty famously. I probably said that wrong. It's okay. And but Marlon, he kind of had like a little thing back and forth with him. I think I talked about that before. All right, so I gave the dad an 8. We got to give Catherine, the mother, a 4. She just gets a regular 4, not a 22. Um, we're gonna give Reby the 11 and the 2. because Reby is an 11. And I think on Lloyd's show, I think we said 4 people had the 11. I think it's 5 of them, but I'm about to count it right here. So actually 5 of them had that master number 11. So that's crazy, they produced that. So it's great. I think it's fabulous. So where were we at? We were at Reby. So let me get Jackie. Because guys, Jackie was actually born on the 4th, like Catherine. So I don't know, like, what the odds of that are, of the parents of the child being born on the same day as the parent. I don't know, like, how often that happens. But yeah, he was born on May 4th, just like mommy. And then Tito is a 6, so that's Michael's life path. So let's give that a number. And then Jermaine is an 11, so that's the second 11 that we found. So we're gonna give that the 2 and the 11. 2. Actually, this should be 3 because Reeby's there. And then Latoya is also an 11. She's born on the 29th of May. So that's a 4. I mean, that's a 4 for number 11. I got to make sure I'm saying that because I don't want to get people confused. Um, Hopefully, it's not confusing anyone. And then we have Marlon is a 3, so we're not going to count that one. And I'm not going to count his anything else in his code. Michael, we're just going to count the individual frequency, not the whole code. So Michael's the 11, so we can't count him twice. Randy's an 11, so he's born on the 29th, so we're going to give that an 11 and a 2. All right, and then we're going to look at the chart, guys, after I do the family. And then Janet's a 7. Janet's a Taurus. She's she's like Michael. She's an earth sign water number. So, they look at them, look at how they watered. So that's another thing. You can look at your siblings and see, what your numbers are and how you guys coalesce differently in life because it really matters. Like the numbers matter. And that's why this podcast is called Numbers Matter. Because we want to really look at these patterns and look at these cycles and look at different things and see why they matter and see why did I have an unfavorable experience during that time. So it really matters. So let me put the chart up here. Look, guys, look at our numeralytics. Hold on, let me make it big. Maybe that's the problem. Let me make it big. All right. So I hope you guys can see that better now. Let me see if I can collapse this ribbon. There you go. There we go. All right. All right. I'm so hyped. I know we're almost an hour in, but I'm super hyped. I am super hyped. Thank you, Lloyd. Thank you, Detective West. My numbers connect with my mom's, my sisters, and my brothers, my daughter. Yep. Yep. And that's what we see through these. We see the connection of the family through these numbers. So, guys, look at our numeralytics so far from Michael. So his first name looks like it's still winning. The number 4 is still winning. So he that 4 is pretty strong with him so far. We just got through the family, but that 4 is holding on. The 2 has taken the lead over the 7. The 2 has taken the lead over the 7. So we got number 2 second, and then we have number 7. Then we have our master number 11, our 6, our 8, our 5, our master number 22 is tied with the 5, and our master number 33 is tied with the master number 44. And then that personal year factor 1 we didn't get to yet because we didn't get to all his number 1s yet. Wait till we get to them number 1s. Wait till we get them. Thank you, Miss Kimberly. Let me check in with the family. Let me check in with the family because I am super excited I'm super hyped, y'all. Y'all don't know how much I appreciate this. First of all, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I heard that Super Bowl who was event was some type of ritual. Yes. Botanical. Honestly, like if you go, since you're talking like that, and I kind of can see where you're going with stuff, I want you to like go back and look through some of my past broadcasts because I think you'll enjoy BTV. And we talk about a lot of this kind of stuff. We cover all 11 areas of activity of life here, whether that's through our Justice on Earth podcast, whether it's the BTV Live podcast, whether it's Cultural Reflections, or whether it's Numbers Matter, our newest podcast. We're always going to look at all 11 areas of activity. And of course, that is a salute to Neely Fuller. He did the 9 areas of activity, the United Compensatory Code. So if you guys don't know that, you can go pick that up. It's a good reading material for survival in this world, on this, on this continent. And I just, we really add on to things here. We add on to our ancestors, and we add on to things and make sure that we edify, educate, like education empowers true vision. I mean, that's what it does. So that's what we do. But yeah, make sure you guys check that out. So let's get on with it, because we got the family down. So let's get on with the family. Hold on, let's get to the next slide. So this was the family if. So I'm going through the slide so we don't have to look at that. But we are going to key in on this slide real quick, because we're going to chart these numbers on here. So let me grab the chart. I'm going to pull the chart over here. And then I'm going to take me off, first of all, so you guys can look at this. You don't need to look at me right now. All right. And then let's get this popping. So let's look at the chart. So first of all, we got the 82958. We're going to leave. And let me say something about that. So Michael Jackson was born in 1958. Okay. So 1958 was a 5 universal year. 5 universal years denote dramatic changes for something to deal with the public, risk, could mean those things, right? The way that I look at this chart, and the way that I look at Michael Jackson and his family, because I could really go deep with it, but I'm gonna digress, for time's sake. But he was born in that 5 universal year for a reason. Let's look back, and if we go back in time to when he was born in 1958, a few years earlier than that, in 1955, Emmett Till was murdered um, by those people down in Mississippi. He was taken from Chicago, which is only about 25 miles away from Gary, Indiana, where Michael Jackson was born. So I wanted to edify on that, because through my research, I found that I didn't, want to bring that up a lot on Lloyd's show, because I wanted to focus on Michael's numbers. But now that we're on BTV, I want to make sure that that was a part of my presentation. Michael was born in that 5 universal year. He was brought to this earth to make dramatic change for the Black American community, you guys. That's what he was brought here for. Look at the timeline. Look at the decade prior. When that happened with Emmett Till, I could go into that numerology, but I won't. But when it happened with him, his mother made that open case casket, right? And when his mother did that, she sparked the spark. She made the spark for the civil rights. There was already going on, but that was a spark of it, because from that there were people like Cleveland Sellers and different people. I might be saying his last name wrong, but they inspired a whole group of civil rights activists by doing that. So this is how powerful the media is. So imagine why the media takes down Black Americans when they get to a certain level. Imagine why they do that, because they know the power that the media holds. And that's why they do it. But getting back to the point, when that happens, a few years later, Michael Jackson was born in that. When we look at that cycle, a few years later, Michael Jackson was born in that cycle, right? Emmett Till was murdered in a 2 universal year, 1955. That's a 2 universal year. Okay. Actually, it's 20, right? To 20. So new awakenings, new things going to be happening. I say that to say this was within a cycle when Michael was born. He was born into this cycle. He was born into the 5th universal year in this cycle to bring change. And that's what he did through his greatness, guys. This is why we got to edify our great ones. Because if we don't do it like Lloyd teaches us this, we're family. We are family. If we don't stick together and be family, who's going to look out for us? Nobody. So we got to look out for each other. That's what Michael Jackson did. That's what he preached throughout his life. He didn't care about race, you know. I talk about it because it's what we go through here, you know, and I'm not blind to it, you know. But he didn't care about that stuff because he had a higher purpose. He had the purpose to bring all of humanity together. That's what music does. Music brings all of us together. It transcends race, it transcends gender, it transcends class. That's the power of music. And this man had it. He had the power. He had the spiritual connection to the other side. He had the master builder number to build it. He had the master healing number to heal. And he had that master teacher number to teach people how to be. And he led by example. And that's how he did it, guys. So, you know, I'm gonna get off that soapbox, but I needed to say that because I had to get that out because it was in my research and I didn't have a chance to say it. I wanted to make sure I said that because it's important and it's central to what I do on BTV. It's central to it. That's what I do here. We look at history like that. We piece things together because we have to write our own history. We have to be the people to write our history, or we'll be written out of it. So it's important. Okay, it's important. All right. So born in Gary, Indiana, lived on 2300 Jackson Street. 23, that's a 5. So let's give that a number. And then he was a 7th out of 9 children. So I'm going to give that 7 a number. And then he's got the Jackson 5. So then he made his first public singing appearance in first grade at 5 years old. So we're going to give him 2. That one is going to get 2 right here. We're going to give that a 2 because that's first public singing appearance in first grade. So that's 2 ones. So that's a 3 for number 1. And then he was in 5th grade. So we're going to give the number 5 a number. All right. And when I have just committed to memory. Climb every mountain is an 11 in Chaldean. So we're going to give the 11 analytic and we're going to give the 2 analytic. All right. So we got through 1963. And you know what? I think let me make sure these are his his years because I'm not going to add them up in my mind right now because I got like honestly 500 screens up and 1,000 other things going on. So I'm going to just let me grab this real quick. And then if this is his year, we're going to chart that year. Give me 1 second. We're going to pull the calculator up so we can be handy dandy and accurate while we're on the live. 9 is 6 plus 3. And I know that's what I thought. It's a 1. It's a 1 universal year. Okay, let's give that a 1. That's a 1 universal year. Not only am I going to give that a 1, let me see. That's a 1. It's a 1 universal year and it's a 2 personal year. And we'll get into that another time. But then let's get to 1964. The Jackson 5 was established. Michael was established as the lead singer, and he lined up second from the right, and he writes that in his memoir. So we're going to give that a 2. We're going to give that 2 a number for that. And then for the Jackson 5, hold on, let me give them a number because that adds up, I believe, to a 7. But I don't want to make the mistake. So let's pull up the data. You know, when you're a data analyst, you really have to check and double check your stuff and make sure, you know, that you have the right numbers. It's super important. You don't want to throw data off. So let's make sure we got the right numbers. 1964. Okay. Let me see where I have Jackson's. So yeah, I think the Jackson 5 is 11 letters and it adds up to a 6. It's a 6 in Pythagorean and it is a 7 in Chaldean. So that's a 6 and a 7, and then it has 11 letters. So we're going to chart that. That's why I went to go get that data because I knew there was more data to that. So that's a 6. Hold on. A 6, a 7. I hope you guys are hanging in there with me. I know this couldn't, whatever. I'm long-winded and I'm thorough. So we're going to get through it and we're going to do it together. Let's put this over here actually for a second so I can make sure I'm doing this right. 6. And then the 7. So that 7. And then number 6, I'm going to give 1, 2. So that's a 6. And then the 11 letters, that's a 7. See how I'm doing it, guys? And then the 2. So the 11 also gives a 2 a tick. So then the 2 gets upticked. So you see, look at how the 2 just took over. Let me take this out because I don't need to put 11 too. Let's just put F2 so we don't get confused. Okay, look how the two is taking a lead, guys. The 2 is about to clean up. When he signed to Epic, when they signed to Epic, they changed their names to the Jackson. So even when they changed their name to the Jacksons and dropped the 5, it was still a 7 in Chaldean. So I'm going to give the 7 another number. I'm going to leave this up for a minute so we can see if the 7 catches up. The 7's catching up to the 2. And then we're going to get to the 1966. That was a 22 universal year. Let me see. Make sure I got that right. I believe that's right. Yes. 22 universal year. So let's chart that 22 because in this year, so he was in the 22 universal, it was a 22 universal year. He was in a 5 personal year since he is a personal year factor 1. And that's the year that they won that statewide talent show. He was 8 years old and they sang My Girl, which has 6 letters. So I'm gonna chart all of those numbers. But yeah, this is his amazing life. Like this is what he did, and he did it well. Um, and it's really undeniable. It's undeniable the impact that he had. It's undeniable. I mean, to this day, he's still setting records. And I don't know anybody else that's doing that. Like he's years ahead of a lot of other artists that are still active right now. And then that life path is a 6. So we're going to give that 6 a number. So let's look at this. This is evening out some. It's evening out some. Okay. So let's get into 1964. We didn't chart that. So that was a 2 universal year. So let me give the 2 another number. And all right, so that's it because that's when he started his career. So we have to make sure we chart that. All right, so now we're moving down to when he did the Apollo. And he did that on August 13th. So I'm just going to chart the 4 there. And I'm also going to chart a 1 because it was a Sunday. So I'm going to give the 4 for the 14th. And we're going to give that Sunday a 1. Okay. All right. And then we're going to look at 11/21/67. So we're not looking at the date so much. We're going to look at the universal significance of this date. So this was a 5 universal year, a 7 universal month, and a 1 universal day, which would have placed Michael in a 6 personal year, a 8 personal month, and a 2 personal day. On this day, he signed his first record contract with the Stilltown Records. That's significant because 5 is a dramatic change year, right? For the universal tide. Then his 6, that's his life path. So when you're in the same personal year as your life path, that's an important year for you. That means something significant is going to happen. And he did that on a 7 universal day that denotes his law of attraction. And then the 8 personal month, a 7 universal month and an 8 personal month. So he's doing big business things and that happened on a 2 personal day. So that right there, his personal cycle was so favorable to him. So we're going to chart all of those numbers right now. So the 5, we're going to give a 7 to, and I hope you guys are hanging in there. And then the 7, we're going to up that to a 9. And then the 1 universal day, it's a 6. He had a 6 personal year, it's an 8. He had an 8 personal month. See how his numbers are all over him? Like this happens with you guys too. Don't think this is just Michael Jackson because he's some special being. We're all special beings. We're all some special beings. So this is all of us, just like Detective Shawan West said. Her numerology all lines up with her family. So does mine. So does mine. My mother is deceased, but I did her numerology. I mean, I was very close with my mother. I'm going to come on screen to talk about this. I was very close with my mother. I love my mother. And when I did her name, I was just like amazed at her. Like, if I thought I loved her before, like, she was amazing. It just let me see how amazing she really was and all the things that she did for her family. And not just for her family, for other people's families, taking other people's kids in. She was a life path 7, which I didn't obviously know before, but when I found that out, I was blown away by that. I was blown away that she was a life path 7. Um, and it's just, I don't know. I got into that and I kind of got lost. Yep. Yes, Lloyd. If when I went down that rabbit hole, when I went down that with Emmett Till, I had to come out. I had to pull myself out of it really because it was getting a little bit too much, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it's so much. And I could have said so much about it, and I still can. I could do a whole show on that and with the correlation, that I found. But it just goes to show you that, your numbers really show up in your family. My mom was a Leo, I'm a Leo. She was life past 7. I feel like that's why she had a child with a 7 frequency in her numbers. So it's just a lot of different things that you can look at, and really, really attribute to it. So what we're gonna do, guys, let's hurry up and finish this slide. Cause I feel a part 2 coming on, cause I'm not gonna hold y'all past an hour. Like, honestly, it's going on 11. So I'm gonna just really, 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 really quick finish this timeline slide 1. And don't worry because we're coming back for more. This is Numbers Matters podcast. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here. We're going to continue to talk to you about why numbers matter. We're going to continue to finish out the tribute for Michael Jackson, um, and chart his numbers. And we'll be doing that along the way. Like, if we start things like this, we'll make sure we complete it and chart it and get it charted. And not only that, we're going to be having other astronumerologists on the show. I'm going to have Portia Cooper on the show. Let me put the banner up. Portia's going to be on the show, Friday the 20th. No surprise there. A couple of number 2s doing a show on the 20th. So she'll be on, and we're going to be doing a numerical valuation on Saturnalia, Christmas and New Year's. So that's going to be pretty interesting. I'm excited to have the queen on the show. I call her the currency queen. She is a Bitcoin genius. So she does a lot of that. She's also an astronumerologist. Like, we all are many things, right? So big ups to the queen. Make sure you guys tune in this Friday night live at 7 p.m. December 20th, to talk about Saturnalia and kind of a little bit of history on how Christmas, got picked to be Jesus's birthday and all that kind of stuff, because that's not actually the correct birthday. No one really knows when it is through my research so far anyway. So, we'll get into it. And, obviously I'm a rabbit hole person, so just expect rabbit hole stuff. Let me real quick, let me just take a look and see where we were on the timeline, because I think we were almost done. Yep, we're not too bad. Let's get into the albums, and I won't do the other stuff on there. So we're going to look at now, we did the Epic, we did them signing as Jacksons. Let's chart these 4 number 1 hit singles that they did from 1969 and 1970. Those great I Want You Back, baby. Ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. Don't y'all tell nobody that I'm on here singing, because I don't want nobody coming on here making fun of me. Okay, let me chart these real quick. Really, really, really quick. I'm going to chart these number 4 number 1 singles. That would make us come to a number 10 for the number 1, because we were at 6. Number 1 is catching up with number 2. And then let's just take a look at his 5th studio album. So we're going to chart that. So this is his breakout solo album. I mean, he did solo stuff prior to this, which we didn't get into, but I'll touch a little bit on the next episode. But he did, so this is his 5th solo album. Of course, Off the Wall, it's a humongous, huge success, a huge solo album, first studio solo album, 5th studio album altogether. Off the Walls released 20 million copies sold. 20 million copies sold at its inception. Okay. This is inception we're talking, not like right now. That was inception. And Michael was 20 years old. So we're about to track that. We only have three Lord bullet points, family. So hang in there. We got three bullet points. And the queen promises that she's going to go fast, even though I might not hold to it, but I'm going to try. All right. So where was we at? With the fifth studio album. So let's give that a number. Um, it was his first solo debut. So we're going to put that on here because that's important. So number one has just caught up with number two, guys. That's funny. So, but he's number one. So that doesn't surprise me. Um, Off the Wall is released 20 million sold. So that's a number two. Number two just passed him. And then he was 20 years old. That's a number two. So that's 13. And then that was on the 10th. So I'm going to give that 10 a number one. So that's 12 and that's 13. I don't know why that's doing that. Okay. So why I have it up, I'm just going to finish out the chart and then we'll put the numeralytic chart up to end the show. Okay, so getting off to it. So let's just say on January 18th, Off the Wall won 3 AMA awards and one Grammy Award for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance that same year. But Michael wasn't happy with that, and that's around that time he wrote himself that letter to reinvent himself as MJ and and then he came out with the Thriller album next because he wasn't satisfied. He thought he's like, man, I'm too great for this. I only got one Grammy, like what the heck? And I agree with him. Off the Wall was definitely worth more Grammys. All right, so let's look at Thriller. Thriller is released on 11/29. We're going to give that 11 November an 11 and a 2. And then we're going to give the 29 an 11 and a 2. So that's another one tick for them. And 1982, I believe that is a 2 universal year. So we are going to give that another number. So I'm not going to get into the others in Thriller because I don't want to stretch the time. So let's get through the timeline and then we'll end. So 310, we're going to give that a 1. That's when Billie Jean broke the record, the color barrier. I mean, it broke the color barrier on MTV. Over 10 million homes tuned into that. Can you imagine the first Black American on MTV and over 10 million homes have tuned into this? I mean, this guy is no one can touch him. So whoever's trying to, I mean, like you said, don't stop till you get enough. But I don't know, you're gonna have enough pretty soon dealing with his number ones. And then that 10 million, we're gonna give another number one. And then the following December 2nd, that's gonna be a number two because of that second. Um, the the thriller, the MTV debuts the 14-minute Thriller video. 14 minutes, that's a 5. So let's give that a 5. All right, family. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We got through slide 1. What? And we still got people watching. I am grateful, okay? Especially after the day that I had today. I am super grateful for everybody that's still in the chat. Look at these numeralytics, you guys. Look at the lytics right here. First of all, number 2, I'm not surprised. That's his individual frequency. He is a 2. At the end of the day, 29 equals 11 equals 2 all day long. All day long, that's what it equals, right? So his number 2 is leading. As we can see, this is the number 2. I think I want to bold these more so we can see these labels better. And then the number 1 is second. Number 4, 7, and master number 11 are tied for third. And then you can see the personal universal code. Part of that code is the 5 and the 6 life path. They're tied for fifth. And then we have the name 8, and then the master number 22, master number 33, and 44. So far, guys, that number 2, look at the number 2. Look at that number 2, guys. So what we're looking at is anything on this side of the graph. Okay, so you see right here where this graph intersects here. I hope y'all can see this where I'm doing this right here where this graph intersects right at the 4, right at this point where the graph intersects. Let me draw. Where that intersects at, I can't do it on here and I don't want to waste the time. But where that intersects at, Anything to the left of this line is the few that affect the most. It's the few that are affecting the most. So we can see right so far his number two and his one and his name, the four, affect him more than the other numbers. But that's so far. And trust me, obviously, there's so much more data. These are just the things that I pointed out that I thought were great. And there's so much more to go. That's why we're going to do another episode because I don't want to keep people too long. Peace, Melrose. Thank you so much for tuning in, Family Live. You don't see the chart, Miss Kimberly? Oh, no. You just see me? Oh, no. Be added to the stage. Thank you, Miss Kim. See, that's why I need Miss Kimberly. That's that master number builder energy. She's like, Melinda, where is the chart at? I know I keep saying Melinda. My name is Melinda. You guys can call me that if you want to. Because you're my family. So my family knows my real name. That's my real name. But don't get in my business and doing my numerology on my name now. You hear me? Don't be doing that now. Don't act like me. Okay. So here we go. Here's the chart, Miss Kimberly. Can you see this now? If you guys can see the chart, put a one in the put a two. No, put a two. Put a two. Because Michael's individual frequency is a two. I'm a two. So we need a two in that chat if you can see this chart. Sure. Everybody's laughing at me. What are y'all laughing at? Don't be laughing at me. Y'all know I'm crazy. All right. Shawan said she could see it. Melrose Mike said he could see it. All right. Teresa can see it. All right, family. Y'all can see it. Y'all can see it. So, all right. All right. So let me retell y'all this because I messed up by not showing it. So right here where this four intersects with the line, intersects with the graph, anything to the left of this, so all of this stuff over here to the left are the few that affect the many. So the whole point of numeralytics is to do these spreads. We're going to spread these people. We're going to chart them, and these charts really could go on forever. They could go on. You could denote a lot of different things to chart these numbers. I just picked out some of the main things that I thought were important. A lot of his number one stuff that he did, and anything that has to do with any of his frequencies that we see through his spread. So as you can see so far, his number two and him being a number one, because he is number one. That's why these number ones are right up here with this number two. But I am surprised his seven didn't take hold yet. But, more to come because family, let me just tell you that as you go through life, you're going through different cycles. So right now, we're still in his first cycle of his life with this count that we're going through the timeline. So we didn't see a lot of the stuff that he did yet. A lot of it didn't get unrevealed, and a lot of it I didn't even put on there because he did so much. There's no way that I could chart everything that Michael Jackson did and all his great accomplishments. I can just do the main big ones that I think are important, and that's what I bring to the family. So I really listen, family. Listen, first of all, it's 11 o'clock. Thank you so much for hanging in there with your girl, Queen B. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Subscribe to BTV, like the channel. We have a lot in store. I'm heading into a one personal year. I'm like Michael. I'm a trailblazing personal year factor one. So I'm heading into a one personal year. That's why I did the show today. It's a one personal day for me. I know it's a nine universal day, but I felt like the energy, I'm transforming. I transforming. I'm ending the show that I did. I'm doing a cycle end with that I did with Lloyd, and I'm doing something new for myself because you have to stay true to yourself too. So you follow the universal tide, but you always stay true to your personal tide. And also make sure you're looking at all your numbers around you, the number that today signifies, because today is a number seven day. So you have to look at all those energies, um, and really take them into account when you're making decisions. So I just want to make sure you guys know that numbers matter. That's why numbers matter. Anybody that knows me knows that you are on this platform. You're going to learn something from Queen B. So stay in tune. We have so much in store for you next year. We got our BTV presentations. We have a lot of people coming on Cultural Reflections. I just met two people today that are coming on Cultural Reflections. They're like bakers and they bake these beautiful cakes and they're Black Americans and they're just brilliant. They're just brilliant people. So I'm going to be bringing you more culturally reflective people. I'm going to be bringing you astronumerology people coming on this channel, breaking stuff down for us, letting us see the esoteric side of things, and really tapping into that. So just thank you so much for being here. And I appreciate it. So I'm not going to keep people because I know it's long and it's late. And I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. like and subscribe. Share this with somebody that really, loves Michael Jackson. So hopefully they'll get a kick out of it and a kick out of all my shenanigans that I do and singing and dancing and whatever I'm doing, just being me. Thank you, Melrose Mike. So I'm so happy to be bringing some of the astronumerology to, a lot of my grassroots Black American family too, because that's why I did it, to help heal our family and to help us ascend to the next level. And so I'm grateful that all my people are here to learn. It might not be your thing, but you're going to get to learn it and you get to understand it. And once you understand something, then it becomes like, you get used to it and you start learning more from it. And that's what this is about. So, not to keep people longer, thank you so much for tuning in to Numbers Matter. Please visit me at numeralytics.biz. You can just go say hi, and you don't have to buy stuff. You don't have to book a reading. But if you want to book a reading, you can do that. We can get you a keys chart or whatever you want to do. You can talk to me, just say hi to me. Hit me up on my moon line. Just text me 302-492-7722. And we chop it up with the queen. I'm very approachable. And if you want to come on the show, you got something going on, hit me up. Let's get you scheduled. We don't have to do it live. We can tape it or we can do it live if you're comfortable with that. So just let you know that I'm here for you guys. And make sure that you continue to exhibit the royalty rules that the Black American nation was built on. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're being righteous in our universal love. And if we do that, that will exhibit solidarity. And then we can spread that throughout the universe. Kings and queens, up to everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is just part one of Michael Jackson, the conclusion, because that man is too big to do something in one night. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The greatest entertainer to ever live and that ever will live. That's it. Peace and love. Salute. Thank you so much for being here. Go visit my sites. Go get some Be Smart clothing. We still have Live with Lloyd. Matter of fact, actually, before I go, let me share this. Make sure you guys tapping in with Lloyd. Lloyd has coming up. I'm going to just show. Lloyd has a professional workshop that he's going to be teaching starting next year in February. So make sure you hit him up if you want to get in with the workshop there. He also has a palmistry course that he's going to be teaching next year. So make sure you connecting with Lloyd. If you're not following him, go to Numbers and You to follow him. Go follow Miss Kimberly on her platform, Kimberly underscore. If you're not already. And just stay tuned in with the family and make sure you go get Lloyd's books if you don't have them, because they're right here. And they're on Amazon. So you can always go check those out. So that's all I have for tonight. I just want to close the show with making sure that you guys tap in live this Friday with Portia Cooper. She's going to be breaking down Saturnalia, Christmas, and New Year's Eve. And Queen Bee is going to get her big mouth involved in it too. So thank you. I appreciate you. Much love, universal peace, and respect to the family. Peace and love, kings and queens up. And I'm out of here.